SFDX technology and how we are using it in our company. So, because SFDX itself, it's really clear technology, yes, but we will show, I believe, use cases how we using it in our company. So, and this is the plan. Also, we have about 20 developers who join us virtually, so via Zoom, yes, and they also will be able to see everything and to hear everything that we say. So this is the plan. So let's go.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, everyone. Yeah. Good. Привет. Good morning. Thank you all for coming today. My name is Azaryenok Dmitry, and today I'm looking forward to talking to you about SFDX. My presentation consists of 3 parts. Yeah. I'll start with telling you some general information about Salesforce DX and traditional approaches in development. Yeah. Then we will move on to a deep dive into DX features. Yeah. And finally, I'll give you a small demo that shows the advantages of DX approach over the other approaches. Yeah. Okay, let's start. Generally, Salesforce DX is a set of tools and features that improve efficiency of development during the application lifecycle. Yeah, SFDX has forever changed the way application development and release management happen on the Salesforce platform. Yeah, statistics shows that companies who use the DX have improved release quality by 17%, reduced development costs by 21%, and can enter the market faster by 42% thanks to frequent and repeatable deployments. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Let's talk about approaches for deploying metadata for the 2 different orgs and their challenges. Yeah. Traditionally, and to great extent even today, in most cases, organizations use 3 approaches for deploying metadata to the orgs. Yeah. And the first one, it's a force.com migration tool. Yeah. This is an end-based deployment mechanism where one builds the application, creates the package, and uses the AND utility to deploy the code to any version control system or any Salesforce organization. This model has its problems in terms of code merging and dependency tracking. Yeah.
I'm assuming like most projects here, you guys will be using migration tool.
Yeah.
Deployment means historically, yes, because we did it for a long time, yes, and we have a lot of old projects, yes, in our company that we started to do maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago, yes, and we just continued doing them. So that's why we're still using protocol migration tool, and just because we configured these deployment features, let's say 4 or 5 years ago, yes, we linked them with continuous integration tools like Jenkins, yes, and we just continue to use them, yes.
Okay. The second is change sets. Yeah, this is an out of the box Salesforce feature which allow us to deploy our metadata from between organizations. Many times change sets don't pick up their configurations. Also, the time it takes to deploy the code from one environment to another is huge. Yeah. Yeah. What about packages? When we talk about packages, we can say that once created, a package can be installed to Salesforce organizations. Yeah, any. since all visibility is in package, but if someone misses any code or class or configuration file, it will be difficult to find and fix it. Yeah. One of the main problems here is the lack of a source of truth that would help the developer manage code changes, code merging, and find conflicts. Yeah, changing the game with Salesforce DX. Why? Salesforce DX provides an integrated end-to-end lifecycle designed for high-performance agile development. One major factor in Salesforce DX is that is aligned with DevOps, yeah, and gives huge flexibility in creating and managing applications in Salesforce. Yeah. Uh, when I talk about traditional approaches or declarative development, I mean org-driven approach, when the source of truth of our development lifecycle is an organization. Yeah, it can be production organization, partner, sandbox developer, and so on. And as I said earlier, this model has several drawbacks, such as a problem with dependency tracking, troubleshooting, and so on. Nowadays, developers working on Salesforce use sandboxes to create their test changes. Yeah. This may cause issues of moving the source of truth from one sandbox to another. This is also addressed by Salesforce DX, which puts forth a new method of defining the source of truth by using a version control system, which is called a source-driven development approach. In this approach, the team can very easily track changes, maintain clear documentation, and use modern hacking, such as continuous delivery or continuous integration. What is SFDX tools are we talking about? I can identify 5 main pillars of DX. Yeah, the first one is Salesforce command line interface. Salesforce CLI is used in all Salesforce DX features, and it reduces development time across the entire platform. It's also the driver of new third-party features like as Eliminated Cloud and Welcome Suite. Yeah. Second is DevHub and ScratchOrgs. When you install the Salesforce CLI and run Salesforce DX commands, you'll need to log into a DevHub. This functionality creates a manageable environment called ScratchOrgs. DevHub functionality is easy to turn on from any org, but remember that this change cannot be undone. The ScratchOrg is a disposable, source-driven environment for deploying of code and metadata. Built from source, ScratchOrg as simple to create, edit, and delete from CLI. Yeah. In source-driven development, the ability to shift the source of truth from the org to a version control system, along with the use of popular collaboration tools, including Git and another test-based automation tools. Yeah. Open and standard tools. Salesforce DX gives developers the option of building with open and standard tools, including VS Code, Selenium, Eclipse, and others, built around a command line interface and open APIs. Yeah, it has the flexibility to allow building with any tools based on open source standards. And Last is unlocked packages. Unlocked packages organize the metadata into a package and then deploys it to different orgs. The second generation package development model allows you to create self-contained applications or libraries that are deployed to your org via a single package. These packages are typically developed against source tracked called Scratch orgs. Yeah. Salesforce DX allows developers to decide which tools to use. It could be a particular text editor in conjunction with Salesforce CLI and Salesforce extensions or VS Code. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I think that the best thing that we should do, so that we should maybe show the most optimal tools
Mhm.
and the way how we can develop our code using SFDX technology. So
Mhm.
I believe that we should choose VS Code as example.
Yeah,
Yes,
of course.
because nobody will develop it in Notepad crazy. So because it's very difficult. So you know.
Mhm. Yeah, okay. And as we know, the previous metadata format isn't ideal for working from a version control system. Yeah. In general, custom objects and profiles can cause these issues. Mm, for example, metadata format make working with large XML files difficult. Yeah.
So
Let's.
previously we
Yeah.
had one big
Yeah.
XML
Yeah.
file for
Yeah.
each object, and all these and all the fields of this object, yes, were described in this one XML.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now we have a folder, yes,
Hmm.
for account, and inside this folder we have a lot of XML files with information about each field for this object.
Yeah. Second is multiple users making changes to the same files could create conflicts. Yeah. These items contain a variety of changes pertaining to different features in active development in a specific org. Means when pushing changes, developer need to edit these XML files manually to incorporate only specific changes they want to push. Yeah, and it's really a problem. In SFDX metadata organization is simpler due to the changed project structure. Yeah, because we have folders, subfolders of metadata, and it can be easy to manage via version control system. Yeah. When syncing metadata between your local file system, you can use force ignore file to ignore some unnecessary uh, metadata. Yeah, maybe metadata which you use in local development. Yeah. Okay. And let's say a few words about Scratch orgs. Yeah, in common. ScratchOrgs is a disposable, fully dedicated and easy configurable Salesforce environment. Yeah, we can create configuration with different Salesforce editions, with different features, and share the configuration file with our team members. Yeah, but you need to keep in mind that Scratch.org do not replace sandboxes. Yeah, Scratch.orgs aren't meant to be replications of sandboxes or production org. It's rather utility org. Scratch org, a temporary Salesforce environment where we can do the bulk of development work in this new source-driven development paradigm.
Not very question.
Hmm?
Sure you guys know.
Uh-huh.
When you guys create a scratch org,
Uh-huh.
do you have to handpick what metadata is in that scratch org, or is it based from a source? So whatever is in that, your let's say,
generally, when you spin up a scratch org, it's vanilla Salesforce.
Okay, nothing in it.
No.
But then you can choose to kind of pull something in.
That's right. Take your source folder and you push the metadata in.
Right.
Mhm.
Which means everything that you build is kind of not interdependent at that point.
Yeah, okay.
They've come out with a recent invention. There are two flavors of scratch org. There's a regular scratch org, and then there's I forget what you call it. That you can bring in certain types of metadata like permission sets, and use some users, that kind of thing. It's not in GA. General.
Yeah. And if we talk about DevHub provides us with the possibility to create and manage scratch orgs. Yeah. We can use Salesforce command line interface or Salesforce extension for any ID to open our scratch org in a browser without login. Yeah. As we can understand from above, Salesforce DX is designed to enhance productivity by providing an efficient environment. Yeah, it's also an open environment which makes the process easier by letting developer maintain the focus on the quality assurance. Yeah, and now I want to show you a small demonstration how we create a new DX project. Yeah, if I tell you a few words about initial creation, and after that I'll show you little demo with my new project that I started Automate. Yeah. Okay.
How many of your projects here use DX?
I don't know, about 5, 10 projects, maybe from active events.
Yeah, and before we start, we need to create a new project.
Yeah, the key thing to remember is like when you provision a new sandbox, it copies over all your metadata from production.
Yeah.
So you basically get a snapshot, production. When you spin up a new scratch org, nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
So you handpick what metadata you want to bring to start off with.
That's right. Yeah. So I mean, the simplest thing to do is just one command and
Salesforce
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why do you prefer to use it instead of Visual Code? Because you can create projects there. So
It's only one command, and now I'll open a Visual Studio Code. Yeah. Okay. Project was created, and we can look a new structure. Yeah. New structure of DX project.
So you created this project.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
But you would have had to use a project manifest, like a JSON configuration.
No.
No. So this is a vanilla.
Yeah.
Ordinary project.
Yeah. Yes, and now we need to authorize.
You have a project scratch def JSON.
Yeah, it's a default configuration file.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So this is where you tell it turn on live agents, turn on this, turn on that, turn on that. Yeah.
And now we need to authorize to our DevHub org.
credentials in your IDE, so you just can save access token in fresh token. So.
I'm sorry for delay. Yeah, now we success authorized it on our DevHub org and can see it in our terminal. Force org list. And as we can see at the moment, DevHub org, where I logged, was a default.
I think the D is
Yeah. Yeah.
Could you please also show us a list of orgs in further column? In Visual Studio, VS Code IDE. So,
how we can I'm sorry.
Yes, I just want to see here the list of orgs just in
VS Code?
Yes, in VS Code. So here we should have small icon in the bottom bar, so somewhere here. So you can click there and you will see all your orgs here, and you will be able to switch between them.
Yeah. And now we need to
so basically you have a dev hub which is connected to your production org, and then your dev hub can spin up as many scratchable, I think 30 a day or something like that. And you can also link it to sandboxes. But to push code into sandbox, you have to package. You can't use the source pull, source push. Okay. So source pull, source push, you can use your scratchables. Yeah. Very quick, very sticky way to get metadata in and out of scratchables. But if you want to put that same configuration into a sandbox, you have to package it up. Which I'm sure he'll show us that.
Yeah, and before we create a Scratch org, we need to activate a dev hub on any developer organization or sandbox or production. Yeah.
Is this licensed separately or cost? Is there a separate cost for using Salesforce DX?
As I know, no.
We have a limit for standard orgs.
Yeah, we have a limit and 3 active orgs for developer edition.
So if you just create a hub for the developer edition, then you will be able to use this with Scratch orgs. Yes.
Yeah.
But if you have access to production, then you can create another dev hub, yes, and you will have a limit maybe in 30 orgs.
I think it's 30 a day.
Was 100. Yeah, okay.
No, there is one issue. Yes, sometimes we just don't have access to production org. So we may have clients who never give us access to production org, and we always work with Sandbox. Yes, and they have their own administrator who migrate all the changes from Sandbox to production. So that's why we had to use this workaround with DX for DevOps. So
But I mean that can be really limiting if a company wants to go down a route of continuous integration. When you've got Jenkins or Bamboo or whatever that's building jobs, because every time those jobs run, they're spinning in Scratch org, and then you have to have access. You need at least 30 scratch orgs a day.
But sometimes it's difficult to explain to the customer because they believe that they have very sensitive data and nobody should be able to see it. Especially if you're talking about developers from Belarus or from somebody from Eastern Europe. So this is a problem. Yes. For example, in Europe we have GDPR law. Yes. So yes, and if you have access to customers' production or you become data processor. So this is a problem. So sometimes you just cannot ask them about this.
But I mean, you could set up a user that's outside of the role hierarchy and have no access to any data, but at least has access to API access to the metadata.
Good idea, but usually when you have options that allow you to customize application, you have system under permission, so you know.
Yeah. You can change your own.
You can change your own permissions. Yes, to see everything what you want.
So I'll say what I'm keen to understand, just because I've not done this hands-on, is the kind of end-to-end process between a scratch org being provisioned, code being built in a scratch org or configuration, it going into your kind of dev hub or source control, and how you manage that process from there into, let's say, QA sandbox and then into production.
We can.
That last part of it, I haven't seen. I'm keen to know what you guys' ideas are on how that is done.
For example, we can use pipelines for GitLab, yeah, and use in continuous integration. So maybe.
Are you then deploying, like, so whatever piece of work you've done in that scratch org, is that like a self-contained piece which you then shoot up the...
Just a second, let me switch to Russian.
Yeah.
Discussing with him. So, что он хочет посмотреть? Он хочет посмотреть обычный dev-процесс. Да? Вот смотри, вот тебе нужно сделать фичу. Понимаешь? Тебе нужно сделать фичу. Что ты делаешь? Ты делаешь новый скретчер. Логинишься на него. Что ты девелопишь там? Что дальше? Ты забираешь ченджи. В какой момент ты коммитишь, понимаешь? Он хочет увидеть весь процесс, понимаешь? Можешь сейчас что-нибудь такое показать?
Могу показать развертывание.
Развертывание. А вот с самого начала, ну, предположим, мы делаем какую-то фичу.
Да. Ну вот.
Да.
Вот у меня есть проект, который в теории я вот скачал с гита. Он у меня лежит локально сейчас.
А можешь скачать с гита сейчас любой проект и дописать там какой-нибудь колбор?
Запрещено. Ну, конфиденциальный проект. Нельзя.
Нет, любой проект. Вот сейчас надо пойти в гид, взять любой проект, понимаешь? Какой-нибудь код-сэмпл взять, понимаешь? How to say, the process, yes, of developing some new feature for this project.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Because I understand the concept, I understand the early parts of how it's done into like the scratch org, etc. But to physically then take that item and push it upstream to other environments into production.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, that's still probably unclear. I've never thought so much in detail, so please understand.
Yeah. So
just open existing project.
Yeah. There is an existing project which before we needed to produce more than 30 manual steps to deploy this org and prepare it for development new feature. Yeah, but thanks to SFDX, I've automated this process with this easy script. Yeah. As we can see, we can automate creation of project, updating a user to give them any Salesforce features. Yeah. Automation push new data, metadata to organization, assign permission sets, import demo data. Yeah. Execute.
So data should be in JSON files.
Yeah. Execute Apex code to produce steps which we cannot do in DX. Yeah. We can get result from execution of Apex code and use it in our script. Yeah. And after that, we can automate any steps of our deployment. Yeah, and
it can be applied only for the spreadsheet.
No, not only. We can create scripts which can deploy our project to production or to sandbox and other.
create a package. If you want to
Yeah,
today.
yeah, yeah. You can create a package also. Yeah.
Just push the code using one command.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit more complicated to
Yeah, yeah.
deploy to this sandbox for production.
Mm-hmm.
And in my experience, DX is fantastic for
Mm-hmm.
development. It's much less fantastic for packaging. That's where you run into some really
Yeah.
because it's a relatively new product, so it's not very well documented. You know, if you get an error, it says error 372.
Yeah.
Salesforce case, what's going on? 3 days later, you have an answer. No,
So-
nothing on Google, no information. So that's where it can get a bit tricky, but and it's not better. So.
Yeah, but usually the development approach depends on current project. Yeah.
This is really nice that we can create this automation system. But could you please show a standard process of development? So let's imagine that you have a task. Yes, task was assigned to you. So how you will start your development? Yes, how you start developing new feature for this project? Could you please show us something like this?
Yeah. Okay. Imagine that I pull this project from my repository.
Okay.
Yeah. And now, according to documentation, I've logged into DevHub and run a script. Yeah.
So you're running your scratch orgs creation.
Yeah.
Just now.
Demo
Not just standard structure, but
isn't authorized. 1 second.
so you should authorize the
Uh-huh.
hubs first.
Basically, you just put a token on your machine. Okay. So that this MAC address is allowed to talk to do stuff.
In my version of Visual Studio Code, I have additional icons on the toolbar, so that allows me to just click on it and open the browsers, and to change default form. So I can just click on this icon and see the full list of the orgs. So I can see this icon here in this version of VS Code. Maybe we just don't have some specific extension because I'm just using default extension path recommended by Salesforce. Yes, but it's really nice.
I hate IDEs because I never know what they're doing in the background.
So
Line and command line. That's it. Even this source tree. You know the source tree.
Yes, of course, yes.
Never use it because I don't know what it's doing. It's like you press a button.
You know the same thing for me. If we are talking about Git, but I like ideas. But I like, for example, if we're talking about ideas, so it looks really well. It highlights all the methods.
Everything's together in one place.
Yes, it's really nice. So I don't think that developers should develop their code in text editors and then use thousands of comments. So to be honest,
when you're a developer, you've got a whole bunch of tasks and you need an IDE. Yeah. But if you're just dabbling, you do one or two things here and there.
That's why today, it's my opinion of it. VS Code is not IDE. So today VS Code for Salesforce developers is just text editor, so nothing else. So because we don't have all these buttons here that we may have. So that we may have, for example, just open, your org structure. Choose the org that you want to use for deployment. So easy mechanism of creation metadata file. So So because currently you just need to write all this how to say list of objects, and you need to specify everything manually. Why they couldn't do something like that we already had in
I'm sure it will come, yeah.
So because it's really difficult, because you can't remember all the
Yeah.
API names.
Yeah, you have to keep Googling.
Yeah,
it,
so
I think
you know.
Welcome Suite does this.
Yes, Welcome Suite.
You got a new Salesforce project and it walks you through the steps.
Yes,
guiding
and
this.
even Eclipse did it. So 10 years ago, so you was able to open all your metadata and just select what exactly you want to have in your project. And it was a really nice thing why we haven't it here. So
I'm sure it will come in future updates.
but today we have interesting thing here, like create a project with manifest. So then system will create it for you with default manifest. So you will have objects, you will have classes, LVC components. So you will have some basic structure, and this is really good.
Already better than that.
Yes, because previously you had to create this manifest file manually. So
and they keep changing. Every new API version affects how the package manifest works, and it depends what version of API you're working with. So you finish running a script.
Yeah, and that's it.
or created.
Yeah. Now.
Created with your configuration in.
Yeah.
Plus some data.
Yeah. And I can say when I started work at this project, without the X, I've spent one business day to deploy project and prepare my org to creating a new feature. Yeah, and now,
And also this is great for testing.
Yeah.
Because in the past, testers would be like, okay, I worked on this feature, it's a big change, but my data is all contaminated now. I have to start again.
Yeah.
Start again.
Okay, so now you just created your scratch code.
Yeah.
Using your configuration.
Yeah.
And now you need to start developing.
Yeah.
So should we do something right now? Because we have a lot of developers on the line who maybe never used this technology before. And I just wanted to show to them how we start as a developer.
Yeah.
Should we run any command or?
Yeah. Okay.
Quick question before you guys start. So, apologies if you covered it, but best practice when you're creating scratch orgs, is it to start with a vanilla org, or is there certain elements and metadata that you pull across based on what you're going to be developing? So, for example, if you know your work involves building 2 fields for a custom object, but the object is already there in your main sort of code repository, I'm assuming that in your manifest file, you will say that, fine, I want the object, I want that pulled across into my scratch org, and then you start working on those 2 bits.
There is no manifest file.
It's
your folders.
Yeah.
Okay. That is your manifest.
Right.
Yeah. Packaging version 1 uses this package manifest.
Okay.
Packaging version 2, your manifest is your folder structure.
Okay.
And then you cherry pick what you want to push in using DX, but by default it'll push everything in. And it will detect changes. So if you go source push, it will look for the differences in the deltas. It will just push in those deltas.
But is it better to pull through everything or handpick what you pull through?
Well, when you provision a scratch org initially, there's nothing in it at all.
Yeah.
So when you do your first source push, you're pushing in literally everything.
Okay.
And then you'll make a change.
Yeah.
Now you have
And
a delta.
it'll pick up on that.
Yeah.
That change is.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, returning back to this demonstration. So you created the norm, but your metadata in these 3, yes, on the left panel, is it metadata of your from your local folder, or it's metadata from your scratch org?
No, it's metadata in my local folder, and it's core logic of my project. Yeah.
So now you can open any class from here.
Yeah. No, but imagine that we want to create a new feature. Yeah. Yeah. We can create a new subfolder. Let's say new feature. Yeah. And in this subfolder, we can create folder classes. And in classes, we can create, classes.
So like namespaces, yes.
3 S's.
Okay. Here, create, new class, hello world. It's necessary. Okay. And now we can use a new command to push and pull our source between our Scratch org and local machine. Yeah. For example, SFDX force source push. We can. Yeah. We. Yeah. Yeah. And as we can see, we pushed our new class to our Scratch org. Yeah. For example,
prefer to use CLI commands here. Yes, but it's possible to use VS commands that more that looks more beautiful and more readable. So
Just going to make a comment quickly. So it's interesting what you've done is you've created a new folder for a feature.
Yeah.
That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is to create a branch in Git.
Okay? Yeah,
you can keep the same structure, but you just have a feature branch in Git, and you work in there and commit that in. Typically, when you would create a separate folder in your Git repo, is when you start working in different packages.
Yeah.
And you have a hierarchy between these packages. This is
not a feature, but module.
Yeah, this is for the logical organization of business logic application. So you may have classes that are more sales oriented, other classes are more service oriented, other ones are more finance oriented. You may have some interdependency.
Now he just opens the Scratch org
Yeah.
and opens the save class. So just to show us that we have it there, so and did some changes in the console, but it's not required, so developers can continue to do any changes in the IDE.
Force. 1 second. Force and okay. Now SFDX. SFDX pull.
You see?
Yeah.
You can just type pull in the SFDX and it will show.
And we can pull and.
But this is not SFDX commands. This is adopted visual code commands. So,
Yeah. And now we can pull our new metadata.
You share a list.
Oh.
What happened?
And now Arcturine pulses. We have a conflict. Yeah, but we can
use the -F.
Yeah, but we can overwrite force. Right, yeah.
Can we override it using Visual Studio Code?
Yeah, of course.
Is this the same flag?
Yeah. SFDX pull and override conflicts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you see, it appears here. So now we can commit these changes. So into Git, yes.
Yeah.
So are you using built-in plugin?
Yeah, of course.
Could you please show?
Dmitry, one quick question.
It's not connected yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we have a question. Yeah.
Hi, this is Yakov. Can we say line by line what exactly the conflict is? How the Hello World class looks on the org and how it looks in our.
cool thing is you can code on your machine, your IDE, or on the Salesforce server in dev console. It doesn't really matter, as long as you're just keeping track of everything, pushing and pulling. It's a real nice thing.
And what is the question?
What has happens line by line, but I don't know at the moment why conflicts happened between the fork or between scratch fork and the local file.
It's not because it's modified in the.
Yes, because you modified the
Yeah.
console, and then you
Yeah.
have something different.
Okay.
Any other questions from somebody from on the line? So,
I can put off my headphones. Yeah.
Ребята, вопросы какие-нибудь есть еще? Вот сидел на звонке, слышал, может быть, какие-то вопросы остались непонятные. А слышно меня?
Не слышно сейчас.
Yeah, we can hear you. What language should we ask a question, in English or in Russian?
Any languages that you want, so Sergey. Feel free.
Okay. Dmitry, the second Dmitry who made the presentation, yes, I have a question. So for now, I've understood that the only benefit of having SFDX scratch orgs, its ability to be able to develop against different editions of Salesforce.
Not only. And additional features. For example, if you want to create a new feature or POC for with person accounts, you need to ask a Salesforce to activate the person account. But in the Salesforce configuration file.
I think, guys, so the way I see DX is that you can self-contain the bits of work that you do. So if you got, it's good for a project manager who wants to separate out work.
So sorry for interruption. Let me provide to you another example why it can be so beautiful and why it's so powerful. So for example, guys, let's imagine that you have developed. So you know your own developer work, yes, and you developed your feature, yes, and you forgot to commit into Git some specific fields. I don't know. Just let's imagine that this is fields. Yes, you just forgot to do it. Yes, and then you migrated your code to Sandbox. Yes. And you remember, yes, I forgot to create this field, and you did it manually. Yes, just imagine it. Yes, and then tester tested everything, and you decided to migrate this code to production, but you forgot to move this field once again. Yes, here using DX technology. Yes, you will need to have everything, all your changes in the Git repository. Yes, because when you create a scratch org for the tester, yes, he will not be able to test it because you need to have everything in Git repository. And using these technologies, yes, you will be able to guarantee that on production org you will have all the features. So because your testers will be able to test these features only in one case when everything was committed into Git. Yes, I think that this is the most powerful advantage of this technology from my point of view. Sorry for this simple example, yes, but I believe that this is the most significant, yes, thing.
Yeah, for me it's the speed. I mean, it's like it takes 5 seconds.
Can I clarify my question? So for my current project, we now using SFDX and CI, but not scratch orgs, but usual sandboxes. And for us, benefits that sandboxes are related. As you know, we already have a lot of integration, yes, and scratch orgs, as I understand, live only for 30 or something like this. And that's why I'm asking, if we are using SFDX, so I see two benefits of scratch org. It's different Salesforce edition, yes, but usually once company have the same edition, yes. And the second one is person house, yes. I don't know this feature. Okay, I will Google it. But for me, as I see, using SFDX with sandboxes is much more beneficial.
Can I offer a retort to that? So, when you push code into a sandbox, you need to package it. And in my experience, building a package takes about 15 minutes.
No. We just from Git using SFDX command, we are doing it with a one SFDX command.
Then I'm not aware of that, because my understanding is that you cannot push source code into a sandbox. You can only push source code into a scratch org.
No. It's usual deployment. We are using SFDX, and it's as usually if you are editing in Visual Studio or so on, SFDX can be used with sandboxes, and we are happy with this. And one more moment, you've said that the structure is bigger for large files. Yes, it's really almost the same as using the old metadata. For example, yes, you've provided the example that objects are separated into folders like fields, list views, and so on. But if you open the folder with profiles, you can see that profile is the most hugest XML file. It's the same in new metadata format and old one.
But profiles are giving access to permissions, and there are alternative ways to give up permissions to users using permission sets. And permission sets can be broken down into smaller chunks. Because generally, the best practice in Salesforce development is to have a minimal set of profiles, and then to extend access using permission sets.
No. What I'm saying, it's the same file, and as I see in the permission set, each permission set has own XML file. So just for my experience, yes, even the Salesforce is saying that the structure is a bit better. It's almost the same.
But you will have many permission sets. So in the old world, with profiles, we'll have one profile. In the new world, you have many permission sets. So Salesforce hasn't invested in breaking down profiles into granular metadata. So because you have permission sets now, and you can have many permission sets. So if you want to work on changing one or two permissions, you just change those one or two XML files rather than one massive profile.
Sorry, I do understand this. What I'm saying, the structure of profiles and permission sets, it looks in metadata the same way as is in SFDX and in old metadata.
Yeah, but I think this is intentional, because the product development team at Salesforce don't want developers using profiles. This is not the strategy for Salesforce. The strategy is to start using permission sets.
Okay, I cannot explain it in other words. I do understand what you want to say, but
let's continue this discussion later. So because I see that we changed the topic of this discussion. So we are talking about security model more than about developer experience. So guys, any other questions about this technology? Maybe something was not clear for you. Maybe you have some questions to Dmitry.
If possible, one more small question, if as one. have no.
Sergey, please give a chance to somebody else to answer a question. So you can ask me later personally, so if you want. So, but maybe we have somebody on the line who also wants to ask something.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I will touch one-to-one.
Thank you. Guys, any questions? If we don't have any other questions, let me share the main disadvantage of this technology that I can see today. Yes. So this technology not ideal. Yes. And unfortunately, we still cannot deploy everything to our Scratch orgs that we want. For example, we still have issues with the communities.
But no. From Spring 20 release, we can deploy community.
From Spring 20 release. Yeah. So in this case, it's still in beta, so and it needs to be tested.
Yeah.
And I believe that we can deploy a lot of things, but not all of them still. And this is the biggest issue because, you know, when you want to change the technology, yes, you want to apply to everything that you have in your project, you know, but these limitations or limitations like these can be stoppers for doing this. So yeah. But you say that in Spring 20 we will be able to deploy the community. But how you can deploy community components if you first of all need to create community itself.
Yeah.
So
we need to create a community, and
so we still have manual steps. So you should go to the Scratch org. Yes.
But
then enable community, specify your domain name.
No. But we need to reproduce only initial steps to retrieve a community.
Okay.
But after the creation.
I've got a question. So for community, how is Salesforce now representing community metadata? Is it split out?
Or is
it a single file still?
No.
Have they changed it?
No, it's lots of JSON files with configuration. Name it as experience bundle.
So now it's really
So now it's changed.
Yeah.
That has definitely changed since last.
But how Salesforce will set up the community domain? It's not clear to me. Because, you know, of course we have the file, yes?
Yeah.
But community name and domain, it's unique thing, you know? We cannot just create the same community with the same domain. And I just want to understand how Salesforce can create community automatically. Yes, of course, I understand that we can retrieve it from some another org, yes, and then try to apply it. But the main name should be unique. How it will work in this case?
Yeah.
You know, this is the most interesting question to me because, as you know, before creation of the domain, you need to click on check availability button. Then Salesforce checks if your domain name is unique, and then you register it. Yes, and registration takes a lot of time. It can be 10, 20 minutes. So you know, this is not just a very easy step because you need to register the domain. So you need to associate it with all your DNS servers. So you know and then propagate this domain name. So you know, it's really difficult. That's why I have these concerns that we will not be able to automate everything for some time. So, but in future, of course, Salesforce will do some mechanism that help us to automate all the steps.
It's in community in a new bundle structure.
Okay, and what we have here?
We have a lot of JSON files with different configurations.
That has been a long time coming. Glad to start.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Great. So thank you, Dmitry, for this interesting demonstration.
Yeah, thank you too.
Maybe we have questions now, guys. So audience silent.
No questions, both Dmitry's. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sergey, for your question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, this difference between scratch-offs and sandboxes is pretty fundamental.
Yeah.
And you know, based on the comments Sergey was making, probably worth going into the difference. Not now, maybe, but you know, after this meeting, the differences and where the benefit is in using scratch-offs, because there seems to be a perception that there isn't one, and I can use DX with my sandboxes. Fine, but then you're not getting the full value and the full benefit actually of scratch-offs. And I don't think this question has actually been answered, so it's worth coming back to this at some point.
Yeah. We should have a combination. So we should have combination of scratch-off and sandboxes. So first of all, we should push our changes to the scratch-off. Maybe test it there, and then we should use continuous integration. Yes, we should use maybe some webhooks, some pipelines, and then code should be migrated to full sandbox or to another sandboxes, and then test it again. You know, but the idea is that we should have combination. So, and we cannot just develop our code and test it on sandboxes and develop it on sandboxes. We should have a combination. We should have dev hubs, scratch-offs, and only then sandboxes.
My understanding was, maybe wrong, but my understanding was that everything up to a combined build environment is scratch-offs.
Yes,
exactly. The moment you hit a combined build environment linked to your GitHub instance, everything else from there on in is sandboxes. That's right.
Yeah.
Into production. That's how I picture it.
Generally, I mean, you may have hot fix scenarios where you've got to patch something in production urgently. Then you can do that in scratch-off.
Yes.
As long as you've got a controlled manner of getting those changes back into all of your different branches.
Yeah.
Scratch-offs here help us to control that we commit everything to Git repository, because based on my example that I provided earlier, we need to have some way and that allow us to control that everything in repository, because you will never know it.
Yeah.
You know, you can only check it. So you know, by pushing the metadata and then check if your feature works or not.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe you forgot to commit something. But this feature can be enabled in full sandbox, and you will never see this. You know, this is a problem.
So just one more thing. Sorry. There's also there's two versions of packaging. Yeah? There's packaging version 1, which is what Ant and the Force.com migration tool uses, and then there's packaging version 2, which is where you need a dev hub and you can use DX, etc. Now DX actually supports both. Okay. You can still do packaging version 1 using the metadata API, and there are SFDX commands that you can use a package XML file with the old source folder structure, and you can use the new version at the same time, right? And there are different commands for doing this. So there's deploy and retrieve for the version 1, and you can use deploy and retrieve on sandboxes. Yeah. And then there's source pull and source push, which is only for scratch-offs. Okay. And I think what Sergey is saying is that they're using deploy and retrieve for sandboxes, which is fine for that kind of work, but you're not leveraging the full value that DX actually has to offer. Okay.
You're just using, in this case, DX technology like configuration tools. So you're just using it for migration metadata and nothing else. But this is technology. This technology is really wider. And this is technology for organizing your dev process, not for code migration. So
this is the main idea. You know what? In my experience, actually, DX has a long way to go for packaging and deployments. It's brilliant for development. If you want to develop a feature and get it into Git, it's fantastic. But once it's in Git and you want to now package that and get it into your QA upstream environments, it's good, but it's still got a long way to go.
Still raw.
Still raw, yes.
But I believe that they will improve it. It should be simpler. It should be easier for us. Okay. Thank you again, Dmitry, for this nice session. I believe it was useful for everybody who joined us. So we should have another session. Yes.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if anyone wants to attend in person, they're more than welcome to come here. Yeah. I brought some. So guys on the phone, if anyone's based in Minsk office here, I brought some Indian tea for you guys to try. So you come to the room where we're sitting, you can sample some Indian tea.
Good. So can we have small break? 5 minutes break. So
We need to connect.
yes, everybody who wants to join another session, please stay on the line. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now
So
we change the line with by link which Mitesh sent me.
Zoom.
Yeah,
and how you will send
they
this?
know about it.
Okay, great.
They have it.
So see you guys in 5 minutes. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 So this is the
Thank you. Bye.